Hi everybody, this is Casey Cloninger, Larned, Kansas, and this is my final Safe School audit. Well, first what I'd like to do is give you a little bit more background information about myself. For this audit, I am part of USD 495, but with that I'm actually the principal at Westside School, and we are contracted through JJA. Now, most of, or really all of my presentations that I've given to this point have been at the Larned Middle School, and there is kind of a reason behind that. Due to security reasons and so forth, I'm unable to take pictures inside the facility. The second portion of that is the maintenance part of the juvenile correctional facility is done within the maintenance department for the facility. So because of that, I was unable to really do anything inside the school that I currently work at. But I want to give you a little background information on it. First of all, I have approximately 110 boys, anywhere from the ages of 12 to 22. They can go up to what we call juvie life, and that means that they can serve a sentence up until 22 and a half years old. It is constituted as a medium security juvenile prison, which means that if they leave the facility, they are in shackles and chains. So it is constituted as a prison. We offer diplomas, but we go by the state minimum, which if any of you are familiar with now, the passing of SB 23, which is that any kid that comes out of SRS or JJA by state law now is only required to take the minimum standards. And we also offer GEDs. Already talked about the average age of a student is 18, which really means my average freshman is probably 16, 17 compared to a traditional school of 14 or 15. We provide a vast vocational program. We really are a vocational school more than we are what I would call a college-bound school. We do offer college classes, though, through Barton County Community College. And like I said, we are all staffed through USD 495. We are a very high special ed population, 40 to 55%. I do answer to two superintendents, both the JJA and USD 495. And the current superintendent for USD 495 doesn't really have to sign off on any of the reports I do. So I do almost all of the superintendent reports currently at the facility. So we are also a Title I school, which kind of gives you an idea of some money that we get, Title I, Title IIA, Title VI, and TIP funding, and I do all that as well. So anyway, I want to give you a little more background as exactly where I work. We are all located in Pawnee County or in the city of Larned, a population about 4,000. We are predominantly white with a very small minority population. Median household income is 41,000. Probably the main supporters of the community are the Larned State Hospital, the Larned Juvenile Correctional Facility, and DOC. The center of Kansas is what they call it, which goes through Great Bend. We have a fork system, so we have a numerous amount of traffic that goes through Larned, anywhere from Great Bend to Jetmore to St. John's to Kinsley. And the breakdown for the county is 24% of the kids ages are 18 and under, and 20% of our county is senior citizen. Here's a picture of our district office. Now, our district office is located downtown, and it has no connection to any of the other schools. Within that, we do have an assistant superintendent or curriculum instruction director, and other additional support staff that are there. We have 3 elementaries and a high school. I want to show you the other buildings. We house a pre-K building, which is the building in the lower left-hand corner. We house a first and second grade building, which is the top left, and a third and fourth grade building in the upper right-hand corner. The high school is a traditional high school, 9 through 12, that runs on a block system. So what are the demographics of USD 495? We have about 918 students. Classifies us as a 4A school. Approximately $7.3 million budget, including special ed. We do have a co-op here called Tri-County. About 100 certified staff, 155 classified staff. And of those, of course, since this is our school plant class, 14 of those are maintenance staff. We do have 30 kids in the 4-year-old, 20 ESOL. We have 542 students eligible for free and reduced, which is almost 60%. So we do have a very low income for the family, average family. 280 students eligible for transportation. LOB, which is kind of the big fund that funds what we've been talking about this entire semester. One mill levy is worth about $46,000. We currently are drawing 6 mills for our LOB, even though we have the ability to do 8. We've decided to only go up to 6. Some capital improvements that we are looking at currently, and I will show you some pictures of those coming up. One of them is the bleachers outside. It's the visitor side of the football stadium. Some boilers that were replaced in the high school and the elementary. Resurfacing of our track at the football stadium. Windows at our high school. We've had a lot of problems with our elementary roofs. They continue to have leaks. Buildings are very old, and they did about 6 years ago try to pass a bond issue that did not pass, and actually it only failed, I believe, by about 50 votes. And so it's pretty much been a repair these elementaries and just keep them up and running, so it's a band-aid effect, which I would say is not very effective. But that's currently where we're at with those. And this is the building that I have pretty much centered my school plant class on, which was the Larned Middle School. I got permission from the superintendent to make this presentation or to look into this building. Now, this building is our newest building. It is 15 years old. Actually in pretty good shape, but for many of the issues I'll show you inside, it sure seems that this building has taken a beating, and one of those reasons is because it is the key focus of the community. Within the middle school is really the biggest gym, and that is where all of the high school basketball games take place, and many of the community events take place in this building, which I would imagine many other people have that. So student population 291, free and reduced 144 of those, IEP 71, and we have an ELL population of 9. Alright, one of the issues that I found was the crosswalk in front of the Larned Middle School. You'll notice that it is not marked at all. So we are looking the opposite direction of the previous picture, going across to the parking lot, and there is no designated walkway. So, or there's no paintings or markings, and this is also becomes one of the key drop-off areas for kids. So that is something that I'll take to the superintendent. As you enter the Larned Middle School, you'll see that we have a commons area and a cafeteria. The school runs a traditional 5th and 6th grade, and then a more typical junior high setting for the 7th and 8th. You're able to separate those two entities and run them through the lunch area. Was unable to find any what I'd call significant issues in these two areas. Here is the entrance from the commons area into the primary school areas, and you will notice that the left-hand picture on the right is the doors going into the school. You'll notice those are locked, and then the door to the left is an entrance into the middle school office, which means that they must go through the office in order to access the building, which is good security. On the right is a picture of the main office and then the door into the vault. They don't really truly have a vault area, so I would say that there is some vulnerabilities in terms of money, storing money, anything else that they might have to lock down. They do have an extensive security system. The picture to the left, you will see that there are 2 computer screens, black ones. that are designated purely for overhead cameras. For the picture on the top right, you will see a camera, and then just a typical picture of a hallway. Here is the library. This was one of the biggest concerns I had, which, if you will notice, it's just a general picture to the left, but right below the windows to the top are computers. And then if you'll notice to the right, you can see where there's been a massive amount of water damage, therefore causing some serious problems. This is the other side of the library, and inside the room there to the right is a server area, but there is no ventilation, no way of cooling that area off. It was not primarily really designated for that kind of area, and that has caused a lot of problems with heat. Here's a picture of just a general electrical, coolant, boilers, and kind of gives you an inside look. I was really unable to find any serious problems in that area. Here is the to the left is where the kids are picked up and dropped off, and this shows an area of pretty good flow. There's very few issues. You'll also see that there's marked off areas for student crossing. To the right is the dumpster area. Pretty unclean, but for the most part, anything that needed to be taken care of in terms of dumpsters and getting trash out of the building are taken care of. This is the playground area. Again, some of the issues that we've talked about, you'll notice in the middle there's a lot of mud and dirt, and also absolutely no fence. So there is no way to block or keep kids in or block anything from coming in. To the right, you'll see just standard basketball court and swings. And then also behind the middle school currently there is construction taking place. So they have done a nice job there. They've got a fence up, blocking that off, securing it from kids and the construction site. This is definitely something, if I was at the middle school, I would be attempting to do, is get some kind of permanent fixture up. Definitely a fence. Here is an area of concern as well. On the north side, you'll see that we have steps that go up and down. Steps are in generally good form, but there is a dip in the concrete, which is a serious tripping hazard. In fact, we just currently had a staff member that tripped and broke her leg. These are the high school visitor bleachers. This is part of that capital improvement. They will be replacing those because they are not handicap accessible, and you'll also notice the big gap between the sitting areas and the drop-off area. Here are the inside gym. The picture to the left is the small gym, and those bleachers have been completely redone and are brand new from last year. To the right is the middle school gym, and I will show you some of the issues we have with that. Alright, again, here's a picture to the left of the bleacher, and then notice to the right, to the top right, when these bleachers are pulled out, there is a huge gap between the wall and the bleachers, and the possibility of a young child or somebody stepping in there is very possible. Also, you'll notice that some of these bleachers are not screwed down, or the screws have broke off, and so they simply slide out if you were to be sliding sideways, and they just pop right out. Here is a picture of the weight room. As I checked into the weight room, as I think all of us do when we look into one of the most hazardous areas of a facility, is the weight room, and how is that maintained, and is there anything done to keep that maintained. I was unable to find anything. In fact, many of the cables and equipment are aging, and I was unable to find anything that would show me that these were properly maintained. And then also to the right, you'll notice that they're not stacked accordingly, just laid on the floor and allowed to sit in that area. This is the end of my presentation, and thank you for a good semester.